Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
How's everyone doing today? If you answered not too good, you are who we want to talk to. This is New Life Live. I'm Brian Perez, taking your calls for the next hour on anger, narcissism, a host of other topics. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it with you. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. Answering your questions today, we've got Dr. Jim Burns, the founder of Homeward, and licensed professional clinical counselor Becky Brown, who is also the president of New Life Ministries. Becky, what is on your mind to start us off?
Well, hello, gentlemen. You know, I've always got something on my mind. Did you know that September is Recovery Month? We probably talked about this earlier in the month, but listen, we're halfway through, and here at New Life, we believe recovery is for everyone. Now, before you turn it off thinking, I don't have an addiction, I don't need recovery, listen, recovery can help you get unstuck from things like addiction, chemical, food, sex, gambling, shopping, or maybe get unstuck in codependency. It could be where, codependency is where you're trying to control somebody else, or you are living a fear-based life, you're disconnected from yourself. You might be stuck in depression, anxiety, isolation, shame, guilt. There's all kinds of places that we can get stuck, and recovery can help us move forward. So would you think about the places that you are stuck? Is this the person that you wanted to become all those years ago? We've been helping people, and to prove that, do you know that we have over 740 life recovery groups worldwide? We have people all over the globe who are seeking to live the life that God created for them. Let me just say, I love quotes and scripture and all kinds of little sayings, bumper stickers. Here at New Life, our core scripture is Romans 12:2. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you'll learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. That's a great description of recovery, is recognizing that you may not know the best way forward, but God certainly does, and he can show you through his word. Now, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous has some great quotes that you might have heard here before. One is, acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. A lot of times people get acceptance confused with agreement or approval. And what I want to encourage you is, whatever situation you're in, the first step will be, okay, what is this? And that is that acceptance. It's like, this is what it is. Now what do I need to do with it? Another big saying from the big book is one day at a time. And sometimes it's 1 minute at a time, an hour at a time. We're going to do one thing at a time and not get too far ahead of us. And here's one of my favorite ones is, if we still cling to something we won't let go, we ask God to help us be willing. Willingness is the key to recovery, to getting unstuck. Mm-hmm. And C.S. Lewis said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Every day we help people change the ending, that it doesn't have to keep going downhill like so many things feel like they do. We want to help you get forward in your life, and recovery is one way to do it. And I want to just quote the prayer that is associated, the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, and taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Listen, recovery is for you. If you need a path and a purpose and a process to get unstuck, we can help you do that. And I just want to say, it'll change your life.
Yes, indeed. And we can help you do that today when you call us at 1-800-229-3000. And we'll also give you some information a little bit later about our Life Recovery Online Conference coming up in about 2.5 weeks. Find out more at newlife.com.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Orange County, California, September 26th through the 28th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Heaven forbid you ever miss a day of New Life Live, but as Becky Brown always says, life be lifin'. So we've set up many ways to catch up on broadcasts you might have missed out on, and we've made it super easy for you to find the many ways to connect after we're live. You can go to newlife.com, click the New Life Live logo there at the top, and then you can catch up on everything that you might have missed. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and another way you can get your question to us is to leave us a voicemail or to send us an email, and you can find out more about that on our website, newlife.com/radio. That takes you right to the page where you can send us your email or your voicemail. And here's an email that was sent in by Denise in Cincinnati, Ohio. How do I set boundaries with my husband after his affairs? I recently discovered my husband was having an affair for the past 7 to 8 weeks with a female at his place of employment. They would communicate via Teams chat. The woman's husband reached out to me to let me be aware of the situation. I am not sure what the next steps are. My husband and I were currently working to restore our marriage because I found an earlier conversation with a different woman, not knowing he was also having a physical affair at work. We've been married 38 years, so therefore he was not really working to restore at all. How do I set boundaries to help create emotional safety for me and accountability and expectations? What does that look like? Jim, what would you say to Denise?
That's a tough one because they've been married for such a long time. I think she has to take the lead, and the lead is, we can't live in marriage like this. Here's what I expect you to do. For example, Every Man's Battle. That would be a must. I will not, continue living with you unless you go and get some help. And if he's not willing to do that, she's drawing, a line in the sand. But this is where she needs some hard love. Now, or tough love, and I wouldn't do it on her own. This is where she needs counsel. She needs some people to kind of give her the tools. There are tools. People here at New Life, every day we get that call. I mean, here or somewhere. And we can, and there's answers. And so there's a playbook for this. And part of the playbook says, no, you gotta say, here's how we're going to do it. And she needs to now take the lead if he's willing to do that.
Yeah.
And she's got to get the help she needs. So this is not just him getting help, but she's going to need the help to be strong and to have the courage and the boldness to try to save this thing. And if he's not willing to do that, then I encourage her to continue to get the kind of counseling she needs.
Becky?
Yeah, there's a pattern here. She said she discovered this one, but then there was this other one. And I would venture to say after 38 years, there's probably more than two. And what happens in couples' lives so many times is we get into a routine, a rhythm. She hasn't been able to find her voice. Yeah. And that can be for a lot of different reasons. And so I agree with you, Jim. She needs a herd. She needs people around her,
right,
so that she has good wisdom coming in. And that will include a therapist. It will include a group of people. Because it isn't just let's fix you so we can fix him. Because I think a lot of times in betrayal, we want him to stop, but there's more to the story. Right. And of course, I would say go to Every Man's Battle as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful things a wife can do is set up these boundaries
Yes.
You know, that I'm not going to tolerate this, not because I hate you or I'm mad at you, or, I mean, you could be all of those things, but we can't continue in this pathway, and we got to disrupt this cycle that's been happening for way too long.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you said, Becky, because you talked about, well, a phrase I use is circle of support. And, you know, there's actually a Bible verse or scripture story, not a verse, where Moses is battling the Amalekites with Israel, and he gets tired and he gets weary, and he needs people to come around him to lift that rod, and then the Israelites win the battle. So a lot of times I think people, they feel shame themselves. They feel shame that their husband did this or whatever. So they don't want to build a circle of support. But you named a tribe. So, you know, she needs some friends. And that's the last thing some people want to do is admit that their husband's doing that. But she needs some safe friends, and she needs that counselor who can guide her. There's great books out there on it. They're really, we see healing every day at New Life. And we see healing because people are going by the playbook. Okay. Yes. You were talking about addiction earlier in the broadcast. You were talking about the big book. Well, that's a playbook. And, you know, I'm a sports guy, and if I do the playbook right, then it's going to work. And also the Bible is the playbook. So she's got a lot of resources for her, but she doesn't want to do it alone.
Yeah. And, you know, to your point, if this is your story and you are overwhelmed with shame, I just had one of these calls yesterday in desperation, just discovered a very similar situation, and she's devastated.
Right.
This is not the time for you to hide.
No.
This is not the time for you to feel like you could have done something different. Nothing you did caused this.
Yes.
Nothing. This is his choice, 100%.
Right.
And if you disagree with me, you can call me and we can debate this, but I will win that debate. But that's usually the story that women will tell themselves, is that I should have done something different, could have done something different, and then he wouldn't have done that. You are not that powerful.
Yeah. You know, Brian, I'm not sure I want to debate Becky.
No, I've tried. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't talked to her husband lately about that, but I'm not sure I'd want to debate it.
No, good point. Denise, thank you so much for sending in your question on the newlife.com/radio page. And we really hope that you can sign up for the Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive. It's happening November 7th through the 9th in Washington, D.C. There are also a couple of resources, many resources really, but a couple that come to mind on the newlife.com store are created for, why can't I find it? Rescued. There it is, by Shelley Martinkus, and Intimate Deception by our friend Dr. Sherry Denham-Keffer. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we're going to go to Mary, who is a Club New Life member. She listens to us on WFIL in Philadelphia. Hey there, Mary. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I have a question. I'll just give you the question. I need to know some advice on how to deal with a family member, my niece, who I am close with, who is happy about what happened with Charlie Kirk.
Happy.
Happy.
Okay.
Happy. Comes short of saying happy. Says the worst part of it is that it was witnessed by his children. But I'm glad this hate is gone from the world. And
how old is your niece?
44.
Okay.
Did she say this to you directly, Mary, or is this from her socials, or how do you know that
from the
she's
socials?
saying?
From the socials,
Okay.
yes.
So
other people pointed out to me.
Right. Okay. So I just want to say this, and I want to hear Jim's wisdom. But here's one of the problems that we have today: is we don't have enough face-to-face conversations. Whatever anybody is expressing on the keyboard, many times it's very difficult to have in person. And so if your goal is to change her mind, that's not a good goal. What I would want for you is to have a connection with her. And I don't know what your normal connection is. Like if you guys live nearby each other, do you have holidays together?
Yes.
What is a typical connection?
We
Go
live
ahead,
near
Mary.
each other. We live near each other. We spend all holidays together. We vacation together. We are close.
Okay. How did you feel, Mary, when you read these post?
Confused, sad, very sad, confused, angry, a multitude of issues.
Okay, so here's the reason why I asked that. When you do connect with her, however you connect, first of all, I would have a conversation, whether I would think it would be great to have it in person, but that's what you lead with. I'm really sad, I'm confused, help me understand, but you're not debating. I know I just said that about the previous question, but Mary, the goal isn't to debate. The goal is to seek understanding. And we have to have difficult conversations, and you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree, but you can be present with her. You may have more impact that way than if you go to a fight. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Jim?
That's more than 2 cents. I think that's the answer, Mary. What I wrote down was don't debate. And first of all, don't do it with social media. Stay off of the social media with her. If she's posting something on social media, that is not the place. It's not safe. It doesn't make sense. We say things that we don't mean. All that what this young woman did. But when Becky said, I'm sad, I'm confused, I think you also want to say, it's not, I'm sure you don't like him, but you don't agree that somebody else should murder him, do you? And then you can find some common ground. So the more common ground you can find, and maybe it helps her understand, that this was, she can. You just can't be happy that somebody got murdered. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's now take politics out of it. It's just not the answer. And so, and then what we tend to do is kind of go tit for tat. Well, I want to convert her to my way of thinking. That's not the time to do it. It's not the time to do it with our adult children who have a different view than us. It's not the time to do it with our nieces, like in this case. With anybody, it's better for us to engage, listen. Listening is the language of love. Then you're going to earn the right to be heard, because she may even say to you, she's at an age where she may come up with this. Well, what do you think, Aunt Mary? And then you can say, well, I'm coming at it from a different angle. I feel this way, but and again, you're saying you can agree to disagree. I sure love you, and I. Whenever you give her validation, whenever we give somebody who we even disagree with validation, I can understand where you're coming from. I'm not sure you have the whole answer here. You're actually creating a safer place for dialogue. And this is something for the long haul. And the whole world is up in arms right now over this, and we're all getting divided. And probably what we need to do is kind of take a breath and get some other insight. I think you can do that with her. And who knows? Maybe she will say to you, "I can see where you're coming from," and all of a sudden, then you kind of win. And again, we try to win too soon. Sometimes this is a process.
I have another thing, Mary.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Becky.
Here's what I want. I want to just encourage you. Have you prayed about this? And I know that sounds very spiritual, very whatever, but
yes.
Yes,
I have.
Okay. Yeah, because and she knows your faith in God. She knows who you are, and so you want to represent Mary the best way possible. And when that anger comes up, recognize that anger is sad's bodyguard. That's what you're dealing with right now. You're angry. You're surprised. You're sad. As you pray for this, you pray for this connection. That's where, I think when we go in with vulnerability, we are approachable. We're not trying to settle the score. We really, just help me understand. I'm sad. I just want to know, where are you? What's happening?
Yeah.
Okay. Great advice. I feel so much better already. That I have some tools that I wrote down. I took notes.
Awesome.
And I'm not trying to. It's not political or anything with me.
Right.
It is most a human thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On a human level.
Yeah.
Is how I will try to connect with her.
Well, Mary, here's the thing. We're going to send you. I want to send her the Heart Handbook by Laura Manja McDonald. But here's what I want you to be aware of. That part of this is traumatic for you, and I don't want to minimize trauma in its, larger forms, but the shock that comes with hearing how people think in social media, it impacts us and it kind of shakes us, and we don't even know what to do with it. So then we relive it with other, you probably have talked about this, going, what, can you believe this? The shock that comes in. So settle your heart, pray about how to connect, and invite her into a conversation, not to settle the score. And we'll be praying for you too.
Yep, and so will everybody listening and watching right now. Mary, thank you so much for calling in. Stay on hold, and we're going to send you a copy of the Heart Handbook. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call if you want to talk to Becky Brown or Dr. Jim Burns. We're going to be here for the rest of this hour. George is next, and Ivy will talk to you as well. Stand by.
The Life Recovery Conference is online Saturday, October 4th. It isn't just for those struggling with addiction. It's for anyone ready to break free from destructive patterns and build a foundation for lasting change. Our expert speakers will equip you with biblical tools to face life's toughest challenges and find real transformation. You'll walk away with practical strategies to overcome anxiety, shame, and relational struggles, plus biblical wisdom for grief, finances, and identity. You'll also gain tools to recognize unhealthy patterns and clear action steps to choose wisdom every day. The Life Recovery Conference is for everyone. Whether you're just beginning your journey, looking for fresh tools, supporting a loved one, or leading others, you'll find hope, direction, and encouragement. Change starts with one step. Register today for the Choosing Wisdom New Life Recovery Conference at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Choosy moms may choose Jif, but God's chosen people must choose wisdom. That's the name of our annual Life Recovery Online Conference, Choosing Wisdom, not Choose Jif. And it'll be here before you know it. It seems like just yesterday we started talking about this, and it's now 2.5 weeks away. Saturday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time, you'll learn from 12 experts, all of them New Life coaches and counselors, 3 of them New Life Live co-hosts, how to recognize and respond to narcissistic behaviors, practical strategies for overcoming anxiety, shame, and relational dysfunction, and biblical wisdom for navigating grief, identity struggles, and financial recovery. If you can use help in any of those areas, I heard at least 3 that I'm dealing with, then sign up by this Friday to get the early bird discount. Who doesn't love a good discount? And I mean, right there, we're offering financial recovery, right? Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or visit newlife.com to register and get more details. Becky, are you one of the speakers at the conference?
I am. I'm privileged to be one of the speakers. And what I have been so excited about is I'm also on the review team, so that I'm looking at the outlines and I'm seeing all of the great content that's going to be presented. And the greatest thing is it's from your own home. Or maybe you have a group of people that you want to join with. But I tell you, you don't want to miss Choosing Wisdom in any way, shape, or form.
That's great.
All right, newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
And it really is good advice. I'm still thinking about choosing Jif.
Yes.
You are talking about the peanut butter, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm more of an almond butter guy, but we'll
Hey, almond butter's good.
We digress.
Yes.
Is it?
Let's have a debate on almond butter. No. Ivy in Edison, New Jersey, thank you so much for calling in today. And it says here you're a first-time listener. Hi there.
Yes.
How'd you find out about
Yes.
us?
From somebody at New Life. I've been in touch with them recently, and they told me about the radio show. So I haven't even listened yet. This is the first time I'm on.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
So how can we help you?
Welcome.
I have family members that are unsaved. I struggle a lot with different things myself, too, because I come from a dysfunctional home, and they just cut me off because if I even mention the word God or anything according to God, they just cut me off and they don't want to talk to me. And I sometimes they'll call me, but just not even ask me how I'm doing, just to complain about something, and I get afraid to even talk about God with them, and I don't know how to deal with these problems, and I get depressed myself, and it's just.
Jim, what would you say to
Yeah,
Ivy?
Ivy, I think there's a lot of people out there who have your story in some ways. When I lived in New Jersey, I was the area director for Young Life in mid-New Jersey, so I was up your way. And we had a phrase that said, earn the right to be heard. And I think sometimes you don't have to talk about God. What you do is you be the best lover, listener, carer to them, and then eventually they will invite you in more to what's making your life change. St. Francis of Assisi talked about the same thing. He we love people and if necessary use words. I just paraphrased his phrase, but see what I'm saying? So I think what you do is you be as loving and as kind. Now again, all of us want someone, especially family members, to say, how are you doing? What's going on in your life, Ivy, blah, blah, blah. If they're not willing to do that, make sure that you have a group of people around you from your church or from other places that can help you, who are going to ask you those questions, because we all need that. I mean, we all need someone who's going to care for us. But I wouldn't, if you're losing on the God talk, then you can really witness of God's love without mentioning his name, and eventually they're going to say, tell me again what's going on in your life. I see transformation in your life. And then you say, well, actually it's my relationship with God. Or even at the end of the conversation, without preaching at him, just saying, hey, you know what, when I get off the phone, I'm gonna pray for you. Something like that, as that brings safety to the conversation. And if we're preaching and they're not wanting to hear it, it's better for us to step back a tad bit, my opinion.
Becky?
I love that. I also am thinking, Ivy, that this is where your own spiritual life can be strengthened. I love that saying, Jim, earn the right to be heard. We all have our own journey to go on. And Ivy, it would be incredible if all of our family members were saved and we walked in faith together and we had these really rich, meaningful conversations and we could pray together. I imagine that that's what you were hoping for. Coming from a dysfunctional family, and just to be fair, all families are dysfunctional, whether you recognize it or not. It's just because we're humans and we just got to figure out how to connect. But some are more than others. But it may have been a hope or a dream that once you found your faith, that you could share that with your family, that you would walk together in faith. And that is that's a great goal. But here's where I want you to redirect. I want you to really work on your walk with God so that when you are in connection with them, the best version of Ivy shows up. And that, like what Jim said, you can even begin to share, I'm going to pray for you afterwards, and you don't require anything from them. And I think that's one of the things that we have to disrupt is I'm going to do my journey because this is what God's called me to. And I'm going to pray for my family, and I'm going to interact with them because I may be the only Jesus that they see. And Ivy, it will encourage you. And I want to get you connected with some people that can help you along that journey.
We'll be back on New Life Live.
I became aware that my husband had had an affair. He was viewing porn on the computer. I was totally unaware of anything like sex addiction. Through the workshop, I truly believe my soul has been restored. The workshop educated me about what sex addiction was. It also gave me courage. I learned how to stand up for myself. Without a doubt, it was the most significant thing that I did.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
That workshop is where I found the tools and the people to heal from this most heartbreaking thing of my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learned a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Ivy, just for calling in today to New Life Live, we're going to send you a Life Recovery Bible. So thank you so much for calling in. Thanks so much for finding us. It's just one of those things. It's not coincidence. It's like she just heard about it and she called New Life, and then New Life, the back office told her to call here. So that was really good. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. Lynn, you're going to be next. And, I can wax eloquent on why you should support New Life Ministries, but sometimes it's best to just hear a testimony from one of our supporters. This one comes from Catherine, who writes, I listen to New Life Live every morning on my way to work. It has become a part of my morning ritual. The moment I turn the podcast on, my anxiety about the day starts to fade away as I lean into God's word through the wisdom of whoever is on that day to apply the gospel to everyday human experiences. A couple of years ago, I made a plan to end my life. But with the financial support of our family's church, I was able to receive therapy that surely changed and saved my life. Similar to this ministry, the ministry of New Life Live continues to help me keep close to God's word and his intention for my life. I hope that my small monthly contribution is helpful to someone else that may be in a similar spot in their life, and that they come to realize that their life is worth saving. Becky Brown, president of New Life Ministries. Catherine made a plan to end her life, and now she has new life with the help of New Life.
Isn't God good?
Yes.
I mean, think about just the way that he reaches out through our ministry, through the counselor that she was able to be connected with, and she does have a new life. We are so grateful to be able to do this each and every day, and we celebrate the way God meets people's needs through our ministry. It's everything from the radio program that just happens to be on when somebody needs to hear some truth, to the person who reaches out and calls our 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we connect them with a counselor or an intensive that will change the ending of their life. I mean, God's got a plan, and he's using New Life, and we really appreciate every dollar that is given to New Life, because we make it work and we help people find their new life.
And what Catherine said is she makes a small monthly contribution. I have no idea what that amount is, but it doesn't matter. You guys can give large gifts, small gifts, in-between gifts. They can be monthly gifts. They can be a one-time gift. And you can find out more at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950. And as always, God bless you for whatever you can do. Let's talk to Lynn in Annapolis, Maryland, listening on WAVA. Hello, Lynn. Thanks for calling New Life Live.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
I'm in my late 50s, single. I was married for a while, a few years back. But I've noticed that for all these years, I've been struggling a lot with self-esteem and confidence. And it really didn't come to my attention until I spoke to my best friend the other night. She said, I've noticed you being this way for the last, 30 to 40 years we've been friends. I said, it's really starting to bother me because I don't know where this is coming from. And, I'm a professional. I work all the time. I have a great life. But I've also noticed in some soul searching recently that sexual abuse that happened when I was about 9 keeps surfacing. I'm trying not to get upset. And I never really talked about it. Didn't share it. I never told my parents. It was with a neighbor. I never told anybody. And I still went back to this house, and it still happened. It's like I didn't stop it. I think I carried a lot of shame for that. And I think it also, and I'm just wondering if this could be part of where the low self-esteem and confidence comes from. And here's why I'm asking. For many years before I got married, I was with a lot of different men, and I think it was something that it filled my head with, hey, I must be attractive, I must be valued, that all these people like me. And that has, of course, that lifestyle has changed also. I've gotten much closer to the Lord, and that's not at all who I am. But I can't get away from this low self-esteem and confidence, low self-esteem and lack of confidence. And I'm just wondering how that could play. Could that play into it? Or am I just overthinking that and I just need to move on and stop thinking about what happened in the past?
So, Becky, you've never talked to a...
ruined by marriage.
You've never talked to a counselor or therapist about this before?
I did one time bring it up.
Okay.
That's not why I went to the counselor, but it did come up, and then and I told him I had shame for it because I never stopped it. I kept going back and never told my parents or anybody as if it was okay, as if I liked it. And she said, "You're thinking as you were a child then. You're an adult now. You can't. Your mind's different." But we really didn't go into deep counseling on that.
Right. Jim, what would you say to Lynn?
Well, Becky, I want to talk to Becky, the 9-year-old, and I want to say it's not your fault. You came back,
Lynn.
Or Lynn, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Becky, that's
I knew
right.
what you meant.
Lynn, it's not your fault. It's always the fault of the abuser. So you were sexually abused at 9 in a really tough way. And in order to get help even now at your age, you can't suffer in silence. You got to seek the help. And, I'm sure that some of your low self-esteem needs are because of the past. And so that's why it's so good to sit with somebody who can help you kind of go back there. Now, again, it's not easy. And sometimes before some freedom comes some pain because, you had, think about this. I mean, you kind of choked up and that was, 40 years ago. So obviously there's pain in any time. So but it's not your fault. It's always the fault of the abuser. And I want you to understand something, especially as you were saying you're getting closer to God, that there is hope. People do, work through these things, but also God cares. I just kind of laughed because yesterday I was reading through the Bible and I in my little devotion time, and it had Jesus wept, and I kind of smiled. And really, what I want you to understand, that I want, again, speaking to Lynn, the 9-year-old, is that Jesus wept at the death of a friend, but he also weeps because you were abused. And so he can come alongside you too. But sometimes we need a Jesus with hands and arms and a mouth, and that sometimes is a therapist who could help you do that. They're not replacing Jesus, please hear that. But they could honestly help you kind of work through some of that. And sometimes it takes this long to all of a sudden go, wow, that was more of a difficult situation than I thought it was. Because again, we repress. Sometimes people even forget about those things during their season. Yeah. But I'm going to bet that if you did some work on that, there would be some freedom, but there could be some pain before it. I don't want to promise you all just,
Right.
fun cuddlies.
Yeah. Becky Brown?
Yeah. One of my favorite acrostics is for shame. And shame stands for should have already mastered everything. And
Wow, that's great.
Lynn, as you were talking about your 9-year-old self and then how this keeps coming up and the accomplishments that you've had in your life, it is shrouded with this shame from past decisions and past experiences. There is a direct link between victimization as a child and sexual acting out. I mean, we have all kinds of studies that prove that. That doesn't solve the pain and the trauma that you've experienced. But like Jim said, as you get with a therapist, and we can connect you with one who specializes in this work, it is so that you can sit with the pain and release it, and to recognize that the reason why it's coming up now is it's unfinished business. And that, it's interesting to me, Lynn, when you were talking about how it's bugging you, like it's affecting your self-esteem and your confidence. And that is what shame does. It separates us from the love that God has for us, just like Jim described. God doesn't see your past mistakes. He sees you, Lynn. He sees you, and he wants you to know that shame that you're feeling, you can get rid of that. And it's easier said than done, I know. But shame is the thing that separates us from not only from God but from people. And Jesus bore our shame. He bore that for us. And the hard part is for us to accept that and to recognize that he's doing a work. But I'm celebrating the fact, Lynn, that this is coming to the surface because you can resolve this. I want to send Lynn, I'm going to send her a copy of Life Recovery Bible too, because recovery can help you in this journey as well.
Okay.
But I want to get you connected with a therapist and a group and all the good things that are going to make a huge difference. And I can't wait to hear back from you too.
Yeah. Lynn, it sounded like you wanted to say something else.
Yeah, I just have one more question. I forgot to add that I did have several years of addiction and had to do rehab, and I think it's just that I wanted to numb myself,
Yep. That's exactly right, Lynn. The addiction and the behavior were your solutions to the pain and the wound, but you found out that they weren't good solutions. They were just one more problem. But recovery is the way forward. I want you to join us on the online recovery conference, Choosing Wisdom.
Yep, that's
we'll give
coming
you all
up.
the things, Lynn.
October 4th. Sign up, Lynn, and this Friday, if you sign up by this Friday, you'll get the early bird discount. Get all the details at newlife.com, or we'll give them to you right now when we put you on hold. Plus, we're going to send you a copy of the Life Recovery Bible for calling in today to New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. We'll be back.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to the phones. Here is Debbie in Philadelphia listening on WBYN. Welcome, Debbie, to New Life Live.
Hello. I'm calling in because pretty much in a family crisis. My 13-year-old has suicidal thoughts. My husband's an alcoholic. I have a special needs Down syndrome son who has opposite defiance disorder and impulse behaviors. And I'm caring for my Alzheimer's mother. And I just need to know how to deal with everything.
Wow.
Oh, man, Debbie.
How are you currently dealing with everything, Debbie? My goodness.
Prayer. I do have a good prayer group every morning. And just trying to stay grounded in Him.
Yeah.
Is my best way.
Well, now everybody listening and watching is going to be praying for you too, Debbie. Thanks for calling in today. What would you guys say to Debbie?
Debbie, I'm wondering, do you have any services outside of the family? If you have a child with Down syndrome, a mom that's got Alzheimer's, there are county services for respite care or just, extra help along the way. Have you engaged?
A little bit.
Okay.
I do, yeah. Yeah, my son gets out with a one-on-one 8 hours a week, and then my mother's caregivers, I just have one starting up for 4 hours of the week each day.
Okay, very good. Very good. And then your 13-year-old, what help have you gotten for, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Okay, so have you gotten any help for her? Like any counselor, anything?
Yeah, she does have a counselor, but like the new recent one is like, okay, the counselor's not enough. We did go get her assessed for PHP center, and they accepted her, said that yes, she needs to be here, but our insurance doesn't take that, and it's like over $500 a day, and I didn't know what they would speak into her. I didn't want to have another battle of something else that I have to, that's not word related. So,
right. Well, I just want to say one thing about that, Debbie. I would explore with the hospitalization about those concerns. I would also ask them if they have any benevolent funds, scholarship funds that they can offer. When we're talking about a child or a young adult, a teenager who is having suicide ideation, the challenge is that their thinking is skewed. They're thinking, I just want this to be done. I can't feel all the feelings that I'm having. And we want to pay attention to that. Suicide is an action. It's a permanent action to a temporary problem. And a 13-year-old girl can have all kinds of stuff going on hormonally, psychologically, emotionally, and she's in the middle of a family that is having a lot. And Debbie, you've got you know how hard it is for you, and you're a grown woman. So we want to give her the support that she needs. And, and yes, there is concern about what she might be given, but, I just think we've got to explore that. We want to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm. Jim?
Debbie, interesting enough, I think you are doing in the midst of what you just shared. And honestly, my shoulders got tight as you kept bringing up one more story in your families. Make sure you recognize that you're in a tough place. And I want to give you some affirmation because you're staying within that prayer group. So it means you're beginning to develop that circle of support we talked about earlier in the broadcast. But, stay with them. Stay tight with that, with them. and make sure that you get the kind of help you need through this process. I want to go back to the 13-year-old also, but I also want to say, like I wrote down assessment. This kid needs an assessment. You go, no, we've had an assessment. How great is that? You've done the right things.
Yes.
So anyway, that's the assessment said she might need some other help. Now again, insurance doesn't cover it. She's 13. Within where you live in the Philadelphia area, I guarantee you that for a 13-year-old, they're going to find other ways of getting that kind of help. It might be, like Becky said, through the benevolent side of this particular place, but there are also other places that might either do a sliding scale or through government funding help you get the kind of help you need. I wouldn't look past that, because that could honestly help her. She's saying that because she's crying out for help. The interesting thing about a 13-year-old is they could have a romantic boyfriend break up with them, and 13 is kind of young for that. But they could say, I'm going to kill myself. They could have a acne on their face, and they go, I'm going to kill myself. Or they really could kill them. They really could be serious about it. So that's where we've got to help them. And what Becky said about, that's the permanent solution to really a temporary problem. She can get through that. So give her a lot of hope in the midst of this. Now, you have so much going on for you. It's hard to not, gosh, you go, and how can I be all positive, toward this daughter? But she needs to, hope makes a difference. And people who are talking about suicide, especially teens like that, they're kind of not sure what they're going to do. They're just, it could be testing out their words or testing out some feelings. So get her that help. And that is, if that assessment counselor said she should go a little deeper, I'd find something deeper for her.
Okay. Well, I would even lean in, Debbie, I would lean into the assessment counselor.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, you made this suggestion. Mm-hmm. This is what I discovered. I need more help.
Right.
And it is, especially if she is having suicidal ideation, it is the responsibility of that practitioner to follow through.
Yes.
Because this is what our professional license is about. We want to make sure that people are safe. And I don't know, Debbie, you didn't mention, are you part of a church community at all?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, and is she involved with the teen group or youth group at all?
She has a different church that she attends to with youth group. One is your herbal and one is inner city, and she'd rather be with the herbal more than the inner city.
Okay, and you know what, Debbie, connect with her youth pastor. Mm-hmm. And make time for, whether it's the two of you and the youth pastor or her and the youth pastor, her and a group of kids. It, like Jim's saying, is the feelings are really big in these years, and they can seem insurmountable. But a lot of youth pastors can give a lot of wisdom that way. Yeah. Is she your oldest too, Debbie?
No, she and my son are 9 years apart.
Okay. All right. Well, we will be praying for all of this. I want to send her a copy of How We Love Our Kids, although I was thinking, Debbie, the last thing you have time for is reading. That's I'm just thinking you're am I right? I mean, like,
very true statement, yes.
Okay, so let me switch it, and I want to, instead of that, I want to send her a copy of 100 Days of Prayer. It's one of our devotionals.
Yes.
It will be a great support in this time.
Yep. All right. Debbie, thank you for calling in today. God bless you. Stay on hold and we'll send you a copy of 100 Days to Prayer. And that was a good book recommendation that you also made, Becky, on how to love our kids, which is available for purchase in the newlife.com store. And we've got so many resources there that are available for whatever it is that you're going through. Maybe some family members who are going through things. Visit the newlife.com store. As of today, we are 99 days away from Christmas. Wow. So it's never too early to start shopping, right? I would say. I think I just stressed some people out right now. What? I didn't. Yep. Look, yeah, Carmen. Sorry, Carmen. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening and for watching New Life Live. Dr. Jim Burns, thank you for being here. You'll be on again tomorrow. Becky Brown, president of New Life Ministries. We'll see you on Friday. God bless you guys. Have a great one. And you can find out all about us at newlife.com. And you can also follow us on social media. Just go down to the bottom of the page there. Click and sign up to follow us.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.